Greetings and welcome to the Southside Help Center show. I'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. This is a live call-in show, so if you have any questions about anything that we're going to talk about, please give us a call here at the station. Our number is 312-738-1060, 312-738-1060. This is a live call-in show, so if you'd like to, or if you have any questions or comments, please give us a call here at the station. We would welcome them, so thank you. First, we'd like to thank all of our viewers, and again, without you, this show would not be possible. The Southside Help Center is very grateful. We've been in existence. Next year will make our 25th anniversary, and the only reason we've been able to survive so long is because of the community that surrounds us, so we really would like to thank our community. Definitely the senior citizens over on 63rd, Vivian Carter, we'd like to thank you guys. You always tune in. You always tell us what a great job we're doing. We thank you. Jade and Jada, two of my biggest fans, they're out there viewing. So we really would like to thank all of those viewers for continuing to support the Southside Help Center, and that's why we're able to do this show. Today we're going to talk about some of our most important programs. And you know, for me, the biggest and most important programs for me are the youth, because truly I believe that the youth is our future. So we're going to talk about some of the programs that we have, some of the upcoming events. I've brought a unique and dynamic brother with me, and I say that because he was a member of the program many years ago, and this is what Southside Help Center, and this is what programs like this do, where we take former participants, and I'm going to let him tell y'all what his title is, because I always find it to be very impressive when we can get a brother from the community and bring them through a program, and then they can serve the community in the capacity of, we can go and shoot him with that title now.
Youth Ready Chicago Community Council Coordinator.
And that is a phenomenal position, because it talks about a lot of individuals and a lot of youth in this extremely dynamic program. And we don't want to prolong it. So what we're going to do is we got to first get back into, because this is the time we're now finna start. School is finna start really. It's coming up on us quickly, parents. So I know you guys are doing a lot of shopping. You're starting to get those ducks in a row so that you'll have alternative programming for our kids, and that's why we're here today. So the Southside Help Center show, we're going to talk about Youth Ready Chicago and also our youth programs we have at the center. So I'm going to immediately pass it over to you, Marcus, and talk about some of those back-to-school events that are so important to parents and why they're so important to parents.
All right. Well, first off, I want to say thank you for letting me come on the show today. Youth Ready Chicago Community Council, oftentimes we get confused with the summer jobs. And it's actually different faucets of the Youth Ready Chicago that are doing services across the city. Summer jobs is, of course, one of the biggest pieces with the Youth Ready Chicago, but there's also two other components, and that's the career development centers, where they actually train youth to go and get these jobs. And then there's the community council, which is what I'm in charge of in the 6th region. Chicago is split up along in 6 regions. Region 6, which is our region, is the far south side from 83rd Street south to the city limits.
Gotcha.
East, west, and south. But this is back to school time. Trackee has already started. They started this past Monday. And the regular schools will be starting on September 6th. So as parents, what we want to get out to the parents is that this is a prime opportunity to start looking for after-school programs for their students. It's back to school time. There's many back to school events going on throughout the community across the city, but there's also going to be some back to after-school events that are going to be taking place across the city, and these are after-school showcases that will be that will give community agencies an opportunity to showcase what their agency is doing to the parents and to the youth.
Back to after school?
Back to after school.
Before we go, because I want to make sure that we touch bases on that back to school, and why is back to school events so important? What is it that parents can look forward to when they go to those back to school events, and why they're so important?
Well, with the back to school events, many of them are providing youth with some of the basic supplies that they need to get started on with school. Just for an example, my daughter, we got a list of school supplies, and one of the items on the list was a binder, which was $32.
That's right, parents. that's one of the most important things about the programs Marcus talked back to school events, is because when they send those lists home, you as a parent have to go out and try to stockpile all of these different things to properly prepare your kid for school. But with the back to school events, you can knock off a great deal of that list, and that's why it's so important that you guys find out what these back to school events are, and take your list, because you can start checking things off as you receive these items so that your kid can be prepared. And there's nothing more challenging for a youth when he goes to school and he's ill prepared. So parents, please do the best that you can, and these are programs that'll help you and assist you in getting those lists down where you can actually manage them. Because now, when I was in school, and it was a little while ago, all we needed was a pencil and a piece of paper. Now the lists are like,
some schools are asking the students, the parents, to actually buy iPads and things because they're trying to get the kids ready for the next
information
generation.
Highway.
Information highway. But with many of these back to school events, students can receive some of the basic supplies: paper, spirals, folders, rulers, pens, pencils. So like Mr. Cherry said, you can knock some of those items off your list. Just about every alderman across the city, there's 50 of them across the city, they're having some type of back to school event. So check with your local alderman. There's agencies across the city who are providing back to school events. You definitely want to find out what's going on, and some of them are disguised as community fests,
right?
But this is around the time that many of them are passing out back to school supplies.
Yeah, so please, and if you have any questions about any of these events that we got going on, give us a call here at the station. This is a live call-in show. The number here is 312-738-1060. Give us a call if you have any questions about where you can find some of these events at. And again, if you don't get us here, you can always call us at the agency, 773-445-5445, and we'll be able to direct you in the right direction. And again, parents, just remember, always remember, the idle mind is the devil's workplace. We always talk about that. So this is why it's so important that when I say parents get those ducks in a row, we understand that parents have to go to work. We understand that they may be at work longer than children are at school. So now it's about putting them in those places that they can be, where they can get supervision, where they can get structure, where they can structure, where they can get assistance with that homework. So parents, help us to help you by getting your kids plugged into these after school events. Is so very important, and making sure that you guys get involved with the back to school events so you can get those school supplies, at least as many of them as you can. And one of the things that Ms. Flenaugh talked about was some schools are even asking about iPads and the other little electronic gadgets, which we're moving into the informational highway. I often think about when we were coming up and the things that we had as compared to today, and I see how some of our youth, I actually observe them, and I'd be like completely amazed with the level of skill that they have. And again, because they're starting them very young, they're starting them right into the moment they get into school. So it's important. And one of the things that I suggest for parents as far as getting those iPads and things of that nature is to start saving, because we know it's rough on us as parents. We have a difficult time not only saving, but just trying to make ends meet, and $5 and $10, so that at some point we will have those supplies. So don't stress yourself, but come to the back to school events, get as much off the list as you possibly can. Now we're going to talk a little bit about those after school, or back to after school. That's some new stuff. Go ahead, Ms. Flenaugh, talk about the back to after school and what that actually means.
So the back to after school events are events that we're inviting the community, parents and youth to come out to, so that they can kind of get a taste, a sample of what some of these agencies are offering for after school programs.
Okay.
So of course, citywide, there's a number of different programs. You have dance programs, you have arts programs, you have tutoring programs. So the back to after school events actually give the parents and the youth opportunities to kind of see what these programs are doing. It's different than a resource fair.
Okay.
It's not where you're going up to a table and you're getting literature and then you have to go back home and read all, but you're actually going to be participating in interactive workshops and activities, and then there's going to be a showcase with youth that are in some of these different programs who are actually going to show everyone, the community, what they're actually doing in these programs.
And this is for the parents.
This is for the parents and the youth.
And we cannot say enough, parents. It is so very, very important that as parents, you come into the after-school programs and meet those individuals who will be interacting with your children. It is so very important where we start talking about support. and what that means for a parent, but what does it mean for a provider? It's the support it's across the board, parents. It's not just us helping you, but it's also you helping us.
Correct.
And the better line of communications we have, we talk about a village, we talk about what it takes to raise a child. When the lines of communications are there, we are much more effective when we know who those parents are. We know what consequences parents have for their children, and making sure that they stay on task and stay on track. It's important that we come together, community and parents, and talk about what we can do to help our youth. And all year long, all summer long, we're talking about violence prevention. We're talking about all these different things, but this is the best way to combat those things is when parents and providers come together and we all on one accord, and we have one focus and one direction for our youth, and that's for them to grow in safe and healthy environments. So parents, please come out and support the back to after school events, because these events are not going to be as successful if you are not there, so that you can see exactly what your children are learning. One of the things that I think about is with the dance and with the poetry and all of those different things, which is some of the programs that I've seen Mr. Flenaugh facilitate over the years, and it'd be phenomenal when we have some of our youth and they actually are thinking, they actually are putting their thoughts in the words and the structure of them, and you'll find that even in some of these events, what they're saying, and once you're able to decipher what they're saying, is absolutely phenomenal. So parents, I cannot say enough about how important it is for us as a community provider and for you as a parent to come together on one accord so that we can do the best job we possibly can for our youth. Definitely. If you have any questions for Mr. Flenaugh, I got a professional here for you. If you have any questions for him, please give us a call here at the station. The number is 312-738-1060. It's a live call-in show. This is the Southside Help Center show. We're going to be on for about another 7 weeks. Each week, what we're going to do is we're going to talk about different programs that we're providing and how they can support you and your family and what you can do to become involved. Today, we're talking to Mr. Flenaugh, who is a part of the Youth Ready Chicago, as well as the Southside Help Center, and it's the 6th region, Southside, and it's about 30 different programs that Mr. Flenaugh works with. So we're trying to do the best job we can to help these youth. The other thing Mr. Flenaugh wanted to talk about was the community plan to address give it to me, Marcus.
Youth-related issues.
Youth-related issues. Right. I couldn't quite see that. Talk about that for a minute as well.
Well, part of the task of the community council is to bring together organizations that serve youth from within the region and to discuss issues that are these youth-related issues, so that we can create a plan to combat these issues. So, for example, in Region 6, and this is I'm just throwing some numbers out.
Okay.
If there's 25,000 youth in Region 6 and only 1,000 are participating in some type of after-school program, we need to address that concern. We need to find out where these youth are participating. What type of programs they need in the area for them to participate, and also to talk to the parents and see what are some of the barriers that are keeping them from allowing their youth to participate in some of these after school programs. So that's just one of the things that we're working on as far as a community plan, talking about addressing ways that we can lower the incidence of violence in the region, how we can help parents find jobs and things of that such.
Okay. We got a caller. We're going to take this call. Caller, you're on the air. I think we dropped that caller. Give us a call back. We'll get you on there. We don't know what happened now. Callers, give us a call back. Caller, we'll get you on the air. We're talking about what we can do as a community, and the amazing thing is we have ideas, but it's really, really important that parents and the youth bring ideas to the table as well, and we'll see what we can do to cultivate and refine those ideas so that we can actually this becomes a part of the fabric of the community. So please, parents, if you have ideas on what we can do, this is what the community plan to address youth-related issues. What are those issues? Don't let it just be our issues, but what are those issues that as parents you would like to address? And also as our young people, talk to them, find out what it is that they would like to address, because we have a network, which is what Youth Ready Chicago is. We talk about referrals, and how does that process work as well?
Well, with the referrals, what'll happen is a youth or a parent or someone that is representing that youth. It could be a teacher, a counselor at the school. They can call us at the community council, and we can fill out a referral form and find programs for them to participate in. More recently, we had a program where we received a donation of Similac milk. And we distributed that Similac to teen parents throughout the region, and we had over 300 cans of Similac that we distributed to these teen parents. Last summer we gave out 600 backpacks as part of our back to school event. So we try to find these programs and services for the youth and for families that need these particular services.
Okay, I think we got our caller back. Caller, you're on the air. You're on the air, caller.
Yeah, I was just interested in the program that you have about the supplies for kids that's unfortunate not to have them.
Okay, you're talking about the back to school backpacks and so forth?
Okay.
Okay, well, he's going to give you a couple of locations now.
Well, what you can do is, if you go to the overhead.
Okay, we're going to go to the overhead.
The Chicago is split up into the 6 regions. If you're located far south from 83rd Street to the city limits, which is about 130.
That's where I'm at. I'm on 80. Well, excuse me, I'm sorry, brother, but I'm right here, like 87 in Ashland.
Okay, so you would definitely give me a call there at the number at the bottom. That's 773-701-4241. And I can. We have a number of back to school events that are going on. More specifically, there's a couple events going on. One is coming up on Saturday, August 20th at Tridestone Church, and that's 1415 West 104th Street, and that's opportunity that you can go, and they're doing health screenings and back to school supplies.
Right. And if you did not get that, make sure to take this number down, 773-701-4241, and you'll be able to give Ms. Flenaugh a call, and he'll be able to better direct you and definitely give you some additional numbers and information. So, if you need to hit more than one back to school event, you can. Our number back at the office is 773-445-5445. That's the general number, or you can reach Ms. Flenaugh at 701-4241, and he'll get you a list of places that you can go for our back to school event. So it's thank you for the call too. We appreciate that. It's so very important that we do come together as a community so that we can do as much as we can. And this is the biggest thing with parents. We can complain about what's going on in our communities, but I tell you, if we do not take part in what's going on in our community, we will not be part of the change, and it won't nothing happen, won't nothing change. Parents, we have to be the engine,
right?
That drives. We have to be the driving force behind whatever. So it's important, parents, that we take part in all of these different events, back to school, after school, and so forth.
And to piggyback off of that, oftentimes parents don't know exactly where to start.
Yes.
So the community councils, that's what we're here for. We're here to give you that starting point. If you're having issues with your teen, you need to find some type of life skills program, some mentoring program, and just give us a call. And we'll help you find that program. If you're struggling, trying to find employment or some type of services, CETA, food assistance, clothing assistance, call us. We can help you find those services.
Yeah. And at the Southside Health Center, we also have an after-school program. And what is that going to look like this year, Marcus? Tell us, face of that program this year.
Well, our after-school program is actually going to be starting up August 22nd.
Okay.
And we're getting started early this year because of Track E. Many schools are already on the Track E schedule, so we're starting our after-school programs. But the after-school program is primarily 2 components.
Okay.
It's the recreation and homework assistance.
And that's big.
Yes. And then we also provide mentoring services. We have peer leadership program. So just a number of activities that we allow the students to participate in.
The mentoring and peer leadership. But here's something, parents, that I'm sure you've come and ran into this particular thing. If you, like I keep saying like but if you haven't been in school for as long as I haven't been in school, a lot of the stuff that our kids bring in is challenging for us. Yeah. And for me, I've Mrs. Smith, Betty Smith, she's the founder of the Southside Help Center, and she said this to me when I first came to Southside Help Center. There was a few things that I may have had a challenge with. And she said to me, she says, Mr. Cherry, I surround myself with people who can do what I cannot. And that made like all the sense in the world to me, because when you reach a certain point in your life, we can go back to school, we can learn this, we can learn that. There's a lot of things we can do. But meanwhile, in doing that process, surround yourself with people who can do what you can't. Mm-hmm. One of the things we deal with homework and all of the new things they got, and that's why I talk about elements of time and where do we find the quality of times, because we'll never have the quantity of time. So where do we find the quality of time? And a lot of times it is with homework, because it's a learning experience for both the parent and the youth. But here's the thing, sometimes we don't have the time, because now we have to also be providers. So we have to find the quality and the quantity to do the things that we need to do for our children. Right. So as parents, one of the best things you can do is get them involved in a program who can do what you can't or what you may have limited time to do. And that's a homework program, because I promise you, when they bring that stuff home, we be looking at it and we want to, we don't want to be wrong, because we're parents. So we want to make sure that we're on top of things, but a lot of times that stuff look just as foreign to us as it do to our students. So send them to places where they got people like Mr. Flenaugh and a trained staff and youth who can definitely help them with that homework, parents. But I'm telling you, sometimes they bring that stuff home and you be sitting there like, all right, now what is this again? They done went beyond adding and subtracting, and now they got all this other stuff, and you be sitting there twiddling your fingers. Send them to Marcus. Mr. Now send them to the Southside Help Center and that after-school program who deals with homework and so forth.
It's funny you say that, because my daughter actually brought some algebra home. Third day of school, brought algebra, 6th grade.
Right away. They hit you in the head right away with the homework.
Definitely.
So please, send them. If you get stuck with something, send them. And that's the other thing that I talk about too, as far as parents being involved. Parents come and observe. Definitely. You can say you're observing, but you can be learning too, so that the next time that particular homework come home, you'll have an idea. So it's all about us getting involved and being exposed and playing a part and role in our children's education.
And then another piece that you touched on was these programs allow opportunities for youth that the parents may not have the time to participate in. Mm-hmm. So many of these programs take these kids on trips every month. Mm-hmm. They do the mentoring, the tutoring, yes. And of course, we're working parents. We need opportunities for the youth to participate in some things that are going to expose them to more.
Absolutely. Caller, you're on the air, caller.
Hi guys, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good. I want to ask a question about appliances. Do they still have a program where those vouchers are available?
Say it for me one more time.
They have a voucher program where you can get a stove or refrigerator. Does that program still exist?
You know what? What they do is they get money for different programs. That particular program has exhausted, but they also have what they call hardships. What you can do, Erin Fletcher, who is a member of the Southside Help Center, she's more qualified to answer that question, and she can definitely point you in the right direction as far as, because they do the weatherization programs, they do the heating programs, they do the LIHEAP, but what happens is the government only allots so much money per period. Mm-hmm. And once that money is gone, then it's pretty much gone. But they do allow hardships depending on the circumstances. And Erin can better, and Miss Erin Fletcher, you can reach her at 773-445-5445. And I think she's extension 4225. 4225. If you give Erin a call, she can definitely direct you. And if we cannot provide that service, she can refer you out for that service. So again, our main number is 773-445-5445, and Erin can be reached at 4225. So please give Erin a call. She'll be able to help you with that information. Marcus, is there anything you want to really quickly, we got about a minute, that you want to touch bases on?
Well, actually, I do want to touch bases on another component of Youth Race Chicago, and that would be the Career Development Centers.
Okay, this is the overhead. Really quickly, take a look at that. This is the Career Development Center. You can Center on Halsted, East Seals Metropolitan Chicago, Sinai Community Institute, Central State, Sears. If you would like more information about any of these particular programs that you see, please do give us a call. Our number is 773-445-5445. Marcus can be reached at 4241. If you have additional questions, please do give him a call. He will do his best to direct you and steer you in the right direction. We'd like to thank everyone for calling. I don't know why y'all always wait to the last minute to start calling, but the main number is 773-445-5445. Give us a call. You can reach Mr. Flenaugh at that number. We'd like to thank everyone for tuning in. Until we see you again, we bid you peace.